everyone, and welcome to this video. I wanted to answer a very important question that a lot of people have been asking me. When will I get complete relief from piriformis pain once I start to do the corrective exercises, or once I start this therapy? When do I fully get relief? And I wanted to answer this question mostly based on my own personal experience with this, because the majority of people, they think that once you start doing things to fix piriformis issues, that the pain is just going to disappear like overnight, and that it's not the case. That's not usually how it happens. Especially for me personally, I didn't go from having like daily chronic pain to complete relief overnight. It wasn't like that. It was gradual. So I went from, for example, having pain every single day. The pain or the flare-ups, they became less frequent. So I would be getting a flare-up for a few days, and then I would get relief for a few weeks, and then I would have a setback again and another flare-up, and then I will get better, and then the next flare-up won't be until a month or 2 months from there. I started to notice that the flare-ups were less frequent. I was having a longer break in between. So to the point that sometimes I will forget that I'm in pain, which was so unusual for me to not be in pain all the time. Sometimes people will be asking me, "Oh, you haven't complained about your hips for a while, are you doing better?" And to actually be able to fully get relief and fix this problem for good, it comes down to a few things that you need to be doing. The first thing, of course, is you need to be fixing those underlying issues, those weaknesses and imbalances. It comes down to a few things, which is number one, you need to be fixing those underlying weaknesses and imbalances for the long term, and also you need to be very aware of your triggers. So being aware of your triggers is also another important key in the equation or the formula of actually getting pain-free. You need to know, and you need to get really good at this. You need to know what is triggering your daily pain. For some people, it's walking fast or just simply walking for a specific duration. So if you need to adjust that duration, for example, you're walking for 10 minutes, it's fine. The moment you get to 20 minutes, you start to feel that pain. So things like that. Maybe it is sitting, for example. So you need to learn how to sit properly, some tricks to do for your chair to be able to sit without triggering piriformis pain. And I have made several videos about this. So all you have to do is just watch those tutorials, which will show you how to reduce or eliminate those daily triggers, which is going to be so important for you in the long term. For some people, it's the exercise that triggers their pain. For example, whenever they are doing some glute strengthening or they're not following certain tips, certain strategies, the piriformis is really quick to flare up. And again, I will leave the link to several videos that I have made about this on how to strengthen your glutes without flaring the piriformis. And I will also link to my program, Strong Glutes, which I have created specifically for this to help you strengthen your glutes safely with as little piriformis compensation as possible. So my point is that you need to be you have to be very wary of those triggers, those daily triggers, whether those are walking, sitting, standing, certain postures, certain movements. If you do need help specifically with exercises for glute strengthening, I do have a program that can help you, because it is focused on glute strengthening, both the glute med, glute max, glute minimus, as well as the piriformis, but we're doing it safely here. We're focusing on strengthening and activation as well. But again, it's not a linear thing, healing and having full relief from piriformis pain. It doesn't happen overnight. It is very gradual, and you can definitely have setbacks. For me, I had so many setbacks, and I still do sometimes. Just 2 years ago when we were moving, I had a really bad setback for 5 days where I had severe pain. But again, thankfully, I had a program to follow, and I knew, like, I literally used the exact program that I share with all of my members, the Piriformis Control Program. But again, I pushed my body too much because we were moving, we did a lot of driving, a lot of packing, so there was just too much, and I did have a flare-up. But thankfully I managed it, and I haven't had a flare-up since. So once you're aware more of your body and you have something that works, just know that if you have a flare-up, then it's okay. As long as you don't panic and you don't start to do too much of everything, falling into those older patterns of trying to try everything out, do massage, do this, do that, and then you're just overwhelming the muscle. It can even lead to worse flare-ups. So just keep these things in mind. But in general, if you're doing strengthening exercises, following a corrective exercise plan, changing the way your posture, how you're moving, you should totally expect some positive results from these. But just know that if you have a flare-up, it is still part of the recovery, and healing is not linear. So there will still be ups and downs. So don't let those small flare-ups discourage you from moving forward and still doing what works, still doing things that have gave you positive results so far. To give a specific time, I would say that for me specifically, again, I was trying all kinds of things, different things. So it wasn't like I did one thing. I wish I had a program that I could just follow and it was step by step, but there was a lot of trial and error. But I have noticed that once I started to actually, apply the things I was learning, it was within about 6 months that I was feeling that I really felt it, because I wasn't getting a lot of flare-ups. And it was within that time that I really noticed I could sit for a long time. I kind of was even starting to forget about the pain. But when you're in pain for so many years and then you get that break, it's a big deal. And always kind of like on guard. When is the next onset of pain? When is the next flare-up gonna be? So, it was within that time that I really noticed I wasn't experiencing pain, but I was still fearful that I might get another flare-up. But after the 6 months, I was starting to feel more comfortable. But again, that doesn't mean that I didn't get any flare-ups after that. I did get some shorter ones, which I was able to settle quickly. So that's another thing. Once you start to feel better, and you get a flare-up, it's not gonna last long, because you know what you're gonna do. You can do the assessments again. You can work on those imbalances. You know that you shouldn't be freaking out and doing so many things at once. So you're more knowledgeable, and you can apply that knowledge. You can apply your experience to every flare-up you have. And that way you can have less and less of them. I mean, even a walk like this was not possible for me years ago. Going hiking was definitely impossible. A short hike like this, or even longer hike, when the pain was at its peak, I couldn't even walk normally on normal street, let alone go for a hike and spend hours in nature. So it is possible to get better and recover, even when it seems impossible and it's like so much pain you can't even move or make a step forward without limping. That I was literally limping every day. You have to build yourself to it. It's not going to happen overnight. It will gradually happen. It's so important for you, and your number one job is to not rush that process to the point that you're doing so many things and you're overwhelming your body, and you're having all these flare-ups. So just be patient, and I promise you that you will get there.